everybody, it's Christiana. It is Fiber at 5. Actually, it's Fiber at 4:59, starting a little early tonight. I'm going to keep talking just for a couple minutes just to make sure that you all can hear me. I hope you can hear me. So it is June 27th, and tonight we're going to be talking about Nifty notions. And these were just a bunch of notions that we carry here at the shop. Some of them are my favorites, so that's why I'm so excited to be talking about them tonight. And if you guys just want to give me a shout out to let me know that you can hear me, that would be lovely. I see. Hey, Gloria.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Hey, Karen. Okay, it looks like we're okay.
Wait. Got it.
Okay, and Teresa's up and running on the computer too. Hey, Nancy. Oh, hi, Barbara. Okay, great. So it looks like you all can hear me, so I sound great. Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hey, Mary. Sorry, we're using the phone instead of the iPad again, so I'm having a little bit harder time reading your comments, but I'm going to try and keep on top of it. Hey, Mom. So tonight we're talking about Nifty notions, and I feel like these kind of run the gambit of both knitting and crocheting. There's stuff that we here at the shop love. There are some here that are personal favorites of mine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to start out tonight with the Walnut Farm stitch markers. Some of you might not know what the Walnut Farm stitch markers are because we don't keep them out anymore where you can kind of go through them, thanks COVID. But we have them displayed on the black velvet board by the cash wrap, by the cash register. And these are individual stitch markers that you can purchase. And these are actually really cool because the lady who makes them calls them jewelry for your knitting. They are dangly stitch markers, and I'm going to pull out the squirrel because I love the little squirrel. He's just too cute. So this is, I'm not sure if you can see that, so I apologize. This is a fixed ring stitch marker. So this is perfect for knitting. This stitch marker, I believe, fits up to a size 11 knitting needle, at least a 10, 10 and a half. And so we've got the squirrel. These guys are $3.99 each. And I love the little squirrel. I'll show you a couple more because these guys are just too much fun. And what would a squirrel be without a little acorn to go with it? Actually, we've got two sizes of acorns. We've got the full-sized acorn, which is what I just showed you. And then the one that the maker calls it an acorn kiss. It's just a super teeny tiny little acorn. I froze up your computer, Teresa? Okay. We've also got a little silver owl. I'm going to be so happy, Teresa, when the iPad's working again because I can see a lot better on the iPad. And here's a little rainbow, nice enamel rainbow. So these guys are all silver. The ones that I've showed you so far. There's a couple gold-plated ones. Let's see here. I love this little kitty in a teacup. So these are really, really cute dangly stitch markers. The fixed ring stitch markers will fit up to about a size 10 and a half, 11 knitting needle. So both circular or single point, whichever you prefer to work with. Those are $3.99 each. Now, for you crocheters out there or knitters who like locking stitch markers, we do have the Walnut Farm stitch markers in a locking ring option. So again, cute little squirrel. But this guy, and I'm going to come closer to the camera so I can see it better anyway. So here is the locking ring squirrel stitch marker. Isn't he cute? So this guy has, instead of a fixed ring, has a little locking mechanism on it. So you can open it, and this will work for your crocheting because it does open enough. And then it just closes right back up. So there's that that ring. So these are the same price as the fixed ring stitch markers. So they're $3.99 each. And again, we've got the little squirrel, which I think he's so cute. And we've got some really much bigger kitties in a teacup. These are so awesome. They're enamel and they're gold plated, so they're really, really cool. So these are the ones I would recommend for crocheters because they can open up. The fixed ring ones I would recommend for knitters. On the website they're shown as locking ring, Walnut Farms locking stitch markers, and then the fixed ring ones are just shown on the website as Walnut Farms stitch markers. So those guys are some of my favorites. They're just so cute. So those, we have all the different styles in stock on the website, both on the Notions page under the shopping category or also under the Fiber at 5 category under shopping, so they're a little bit easier to find. If you come in person in the shop, we have them on the display board right by the cash register. We've got them all in a nice little line so you can see each and every individual one. So those are the Walnut Farms stitch markers and locking stitch markers. So next, for some of our Nifty Notions, this is definitely a shop favorite. I know this is Teresa's favorite, but I didn't pull it in pink, I pulled it in blue because I like blue. So this is the Cocoa Knits Maker's Keep. This is $25, and this I consider it a nifty notion because it's so handy. So it looks kind of like an iWatch, but it's a snap bracelet, and you can put it on your wrist.
I like
And
that color.
I do like this one. I think it's called Duck Egg, I want to say. And what this is a magnet right here. And what's really cool about this is it's any of the Cocoa Knit stitch markers will stick to this. They're all magnetic. So your stitch markers, you can keep them right here. And I think that's awesome because I am always the person who is losing my stitch markers. So I like the magnetic option. It makes it a little less easier for people like me to lose stitch markers. So as an example, I have pulled the Cocoa Knits Precious Metal stitch markers. These are on the Fiber at 5 page under the shopping category. These are $12 each. These are just an example, but any of the Cocoa Knits stitch markers will stick to this. So I'm just going to pull a couple of these guys out, and they are different colors of metal. There's gold, copper, and silver. And I'm going to come a little closer to the camera again so I can see a little bit better. So this,
If the magnet would be strong enough for the whole box.
it might be. We could try. So this is the Maker's Keep, and these are my precious metal stitch markers. And see, even with the plastic on, they're adhering to the Maker's Keep. I'm not going to take the plastic off because I want to keep that nice and protected for whomever chooses to purchase this. So that makes your stitch markers just a little less likely to go missing. So again, I've got the precious metal stitch markers. So I showed you them in silver, but there's also gold plated stitch markers and copper stitch markers. So these stitch markers are $12. You get 3 different styles. There's the larger ring, the smaller ring, and then the ones that I like into a safety pin.
Yeah, so much special metal stitch markers, and she loves them.
You know, these are Cheryl's favorite too. So Nancy, you and Cheryl think an awful lot alike. But any of the Cocoa Knit stitch markers will stick to this. They are all magnetized, even the colored ones. They're just color coded over a metal stitch marker that will adhere to the magnet. Another cool thing about this, guys, they've made several accessories to go with it. So this is the knitting row counter. And Teresa, do you think I'm okay to open it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll fix the sticker later. So the row counter just in and of itself is really awesome. It's got the numbers under a little magnifying glass or magnifying plastic so that you can read it a lot easier. And so it's just a little click here on the top, and then it's got the dials on the side to reset it. But then of course, if you look at the back, it is metal. So it's gonna stick perfectly to the maker's keep. So if you're doing something where you need to keep track of your rows, you can keep it on your wrist where it's nice and handy. Or I've got a little table next to the chair that I sit in to knit and crochet, and I would just keep this on the table. But I love the magnet option. That is really, really awesome. So this is the knitting row counter. It is $18.75. It is sold separately from the maker's keep.
And there's a button on it that locks it.
Oh, there is a button on there that locks it?
Yes, that you can lock it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a little slide at the bottom so that you can lock it so you don't accidentally push the button and change your row count. Thanks, Teresa.
You're welcome.
That is awesome. See, I'm learning something new every day. But the row counter, $18.75. And generally you can't go wrong with any of the Cocoa Knits notions. They are well made, they're easy to use, they're a lot of fun. So I'm going to put this maker's keep back. And again, the maker's keep is $25. It is on a slat bracelet, and it's about the same size as like an iWatch or Fitbit. I think I put it in there wrong because you can't see it. There we go. Maker's Keep by Cocoa Knits. I've pulled a couple other Cocoa Knits products that I think are really, really helpful. These are the Cocoa Knits claw clips. Sorry, had a hard time getting that one out. They are $5.99, and I want to say you get 12 pieces right there on the front. I love these guys because I am not fond of projects where I have to seam or sew just because the pieces move around a lot. And I think these clips are really, really nifty. They're better than safety pins in my opinion because you can clamp them down and that holds your pieces in place. So they're kind of almost like a claw clip for your hair, but much smaller. And so the pieces, the pointy pieces will go into your fabric and hold it together without splitting or breaking your yarn. I'm going to come a little bit closer to the camera so you guys get a better view of that. So here is this little guy. I'd say he's probably about ½ an inch wide. And it's just like a little clip for your hair. So you open it up, you clamp the pieces that you need to sew together, and this will hold them in place. Whereas if you were to use just plain old safety pins, you kind of risk your pieces moving a little bit when you pick the project up to sew and put it together. So this comes with 12 pieces. It is $5.99, and I think these are awesome. They're so helpful when you're seaming a project together. So if I had a list of Christiana's favorite notions, this would definitely be on it. Next is the Cocoa Knits accessory roll. We've shown this before, but I think it is so awesome it's worth showing again. So this is $39.99. These are actually made out of a craft paper or paper fabric. And sorry, I saw something else come up on my screen. So they say washing softens the craft paper fabric, creating a worn look similar to leather. To wash, simply remove the elastic, machine wash on gentle and cool water, squeeze and crumple while damp to encourage wrinkles and texture, reshape, and allow to air dry. So this is pre-assembled with elastic closures, and it actually comes with different colored elastic closures so that you can change it up to whatever color you like. So we have it in the color gray. I think it's actually silver on the website. So you hook up the elastics and it holds the roll shut. So to get into it, you simply slide the elastics and this opens up. And this is really great for your stitch markers. The pockets are kind of, they're folded over. So you would close it, kind of like you would close a box top, like on a box of graham crackers or something. And these pockets actually come out. So if you don't need all of the pockets, you can unsnap them, remove them, and it still remains about the same size. So there are the snapbacks on there. And that is the pocket open and closed. So you've got the flap that folds in there and closes up. I know the Cocoa Knits website, they actually show this holding their stitch markers. So they have stitch markers in one pocket and crochet hooks in another. This would fit your crochet hooks. And it comes with different color elastics if you want to switch it up. So there's pink, turquoise, and blackish brown. And I love the fact that they're using the paper on it, so it's recycling. It's awesome. I believe Cocoa Knits packaging is all recycled paper too. And then you just snap these guys back in there. And this is a super convenient way to hold your notions. This would be great for if you're traveling too. You just throw it in your knitting or crocheting bag and you're all set. And I will put that back together later.
Helen bought that because she was going to be traveling for a year.
Oh, nice. I don't know if you've all heard Teresa, but she said someone came in yesterday and bought one of these because she's going to be traveling for over a year?
A year, yeah.
Wow. This is a great way to keep notions, hooks. I think it might be just a tiny bit too small for double points. You could probably fit a 6-inch double point in here, but not the 8 inches. So this is just a super, super convenient way to keep things organized. I know I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody, but when I'm either like going to visit my mom or going someplace where I'm bringing a project, I keep a certain project in a certain bag, and then I just move my notions pouch from bag to bag. So this would be a wonderful way to do that. You just keep your notions you need in here and just switch bags. That's what I do. So that is the Cocoa Knits accessory roll, and it comes with the kind of beige band elastics on it already, but it does come with 3 other color bands to switch it out with. And it is $39.99. So switching from Cocoa Knits, we actually just got these guys back in stock. It is the Needle Keeper. It's called the Magic Wand Needle Keeper. And it is $8.50. We have assorted colors. There's teal, silver, purple, blue, green. And we had these for a while and then we ran out, and we decided to bring them back in because you all requested that we bring them back in. So thank you for that. So what this guide does, this is specifically for circular needles. There's a metal tube here, and then there's a, not plastic, but like a silicone cap here. And there's a slit in the top. So what you do is you take your double points, or your circular, which I just happen to have a circular needle here. You feed it through that slit in the top, and then pull it down through the tube up to the joining point, or just beyond the joining point. So what this is doing is it's a multitasker. It's keeping your needles safe in your project bag. It's also keeping the joint parts safe, so the place where the needles and the cord join together. It's keeping that safe because that can get kind of weak over time if it's not protected. And this is also keeping your stitches in place too. So if you have a project on here and you feed the needles through the tube, it is keeping your stitches from falling off your knitting needle. So you can, if you've got one of these on your needles, you can literally throw it in your bag, in your knitting or crocheting bag.
Harder for kids to pull out your stitches.
Teresa said too, it's also harder for kids to pull out your stitches if you've got your needles on one of these guys. I was actually reading up on these a little bit too, and this is like airplane grade metal, and they hand sand the ends, so then that way they are smooth, they don't catch on your project, they don't catch on your skin. So it's a great little invention. They actually just, I believe, just got the patent approved on it. So these are $8.50, and they are the Needle Keeper. Great for if you're traveling this summer. So my next 3 items are all kind of similar. I have the handy tool, the Fix-A-Stitch, and the Fix-A-Stitch lace. These are fantastic for knitters, especially knitters who don't crochet, which if you don't crochet, shame on you, you should learn. Sorry, I'm a little opinionated about crocheting. But what these guys are, these particular tools are for if you should drop a stitch in your knitting and you don't happen to have a crochet hook around. So you've got one end, that's the crochet hook, at least on the handy tool. You've got the one end that's a crochet hook, and then you've got another end that's pointed like a knitting needle, so you could catch the stitch with one end and then pull it up with the crochet hook end. So these guys are $2, and I apologize, it's kind of hard to see pink on pink there, but bottom is the little crochet hook end, and then the pointed end, like the knitting needle, is right there. So this is metal, so there's very little give to it, which if you're looking for something with a little more give to it, then I would suggest the Fix-A-Stitch, because these are plastic, so they're going to have a little more wiggle to them. The Fix-A-Stitch are $15.95, but you do get 3 of them. They have the crochet hook on either end, but these guys, there are 3 different sizes. So you've got one that would be good for like your fingering through DK weight, a worsted weight one, and then one for your jumbo or bulky knits in there. So that's the Fix-A-Stitch, and these guys are really cool. And also for $15.95, we've got the Fix-A-Stitch lace. So these are super, super small to use specifically with lace weight, and I would probably say up to about a light fingering weight yarn. So they're in a little plastic tube to keep them safe. But you get 2 hooks in here. They are pretty much the same size, and they've got the crochet hook style hook at either end. So that's the Fix-A-Stitch lace, $15.95. So these would be in my notions bag if I should happen to drop a stitch when I'm knitting. These will help me pull it back up. But see, I'm a crocheter, so I always have crochet hooks in my knitting bag. Are you laughing at me?
Yes, I am.
So that's the handy tool, which is metal, and it has crochet hook at one end and then the pointed needle like knitting needle at the other end for $2. The standard Fix-A-Stitch, which is $15.95, comes with 3 separate hooks, all different sizes. So you've got a jumbo one, a medium one, and then a small one. And then the Fix-A-Stitch lace, which is specifically for your lace work projects, which comes with 2 hooks and a nice little plastic case to keep them safe. And they are the same size, and they're super teeny tiny, so those are also $15.95.
And there's also a reason they have a hook on both ends.
Teresa says there's a reason there's a hook on both ends. Are you going to enlighten me?
It's going to be on demo days.
Oh, okay. I can't say why there's a specific reason there's 2 hooks or a hook on each end, because it's coming up on demo days, so Teresa's going to be demonstrating that here within the next couple weeks. So keep watching Facebook and you will see a demonstration of the Fix-A-Stitch and Fix-A-Stitch lace. So next I have brought up some new items that we got from Katrinkles, and sorry, I see a comment. Oh good, Nancy. Nancy has both a Fix-A-Stitch and a crochet hook, so good job, Nancy. So I've got some new items that we brought in from Katrinkles. Katrinkles is a great little company. They do a lot of stitch gauges that are burnt designs, wood burnt designs, and they're super, super cool. We've got a lot of their stuff, and I've brought up just 4 items to show you guys tonight. This one is brand new, and this is one.
Jennings.
Christy?
Says hello.
Oh, hey Christy. Sorry, again, we're using the iPhone instead of the iPad, so the comments are about this big, so Teresa's helping me out with reading them. Hi, Christy. So this is something that I know I need because I have multiple projects going at any given time. This is a write-on, wipe-off bag tag. So these are designed specifically so that you can write the name of your project on the tag and then hook it onto your knitting or crochet bag, so then that way you always know what is in the bag. These are $13.50. They're a plastic tag. Obviously, I wouldn't use a permanent marker, but just a standard marker on here. And I think, yeah, just a standard marker. And then you can wash it off when the project is done. They've got just kind of a, like the little keychain type attachment on there, if you can see that. There's a couple different colors in there. There's a teal chain, a pink one, and a blue one. So these are...
No green.
What?
And no green.
No green, I'm sorry. The teal is almost a green, kind of.
Pretty.
So these are $13.50. And there's 3 of them in here, so these are perfect for those of you who are like me, who have multiple upon multiple projects going at one time. So along the same lines too, there's this, here's some of these wood burning designs that I was telling you about. This is a knitting bag ID tag, and let me take that out of the plastic so you can see it a little better. They should change it to just this crafting bag belongs to, for those of us who are knitters and crocheters. So this is cute wooden design on here. And I forgot to flip the camera around, I'm sorry. So it says this knitting bag belongs to, and then you would take your permanent marker like a Sharpie and just write your name on there. And if you were so inclined, like if you forgot your knitting bag someplace, you could probably write your phone number on the back so that if someone finds it, they can contact you. But that is a Katrinkles design. It's this probably about 1/4 of an inch thick wood on sort of a keychain type attachment on there. So this little guy is $6.98, and you would just take your Sharpie and write your name on there and then put it on your knitting bag. So this is just a little bit of what Katrinkles does. They make so many neat products. This one I'm kind of in love with. It's the Katrinkles Stitchable Sew On Initial Tag. This is $2.25, and I will bring it closer to the camera again so that you can see it a little better. So you've got the 4 holes to sew it onto the project, and it says made with love by, and then it's got 2 grids underneath it, and that's where you would just embroider your initials on there. So if I made something for someone, I'd make a C and then an F. Or a B, depending on my frame of mind that day. So again, that's another cute little Katrinkles design. And it would always remind the person who made it for them and that it was made with a lot of love. So that is the Katrinkles Stitchable Sew On Tag, and it is $2.25. You would probably need like a standard cross-stitching type floss to work in there. I think if you used yarn, it would just be too thick and you wouldn't be able to read the initials quite as clearly. So a lace weight yarn might work, but I think if you go above that, it wouldn't be very legible. The last Katrinkles product that I have to show you tonight is the Increase Decrease Stitch Markers. These are $13.50 each, and I love these because not only are they stitch markers, but the knit tags on them indicate which type of increase or decrease you need to do. So let's say I'm doing a project where I have both knit 2 together and slip slip knit that I need to do to decrease my project. So I've got a little tag here that says SSK, so I know when I get to that tag I need to slip slip knit. And then along the same lines too, it also has what type of increase you need to do. So for example, I'm working on the Stephen West Fantastitch shawl right now, and at either end you do increases. One is make one left and one is make one right. So I would place these little tags here that say M1L and M1R at either end of my project, so I know that I need to make one left or make one right to increase out. There's also a slip one, knit one, pass slip stitch over decrease tag. There's a K2 tog tag and a yarn over one. So they're really, really great, really, really convenient So then that way too, you don't necessarily have to memorize the pattern. You've got your instructions attached to the project itself. So 1350, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with different styles of increase and decrease indicated on tag. Those are super, super cool. So just seeing what time it is. Our clock broke, so I have honestly no idea what time it is.
A little after 5.
Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
The next item I have to show you is another oldie but goodie that we just recently restocked. This is the Acreworks Knitting Toolkit. And if you don't have one of these, I highly, highly recommend it. This is also great for crocheters too, so don't let the name fool you. I got my mom one of these for Christmas. How do you like it, Mom? Have you actually used it yet? So, it comes with the knitting gauge on top. Oops, those are the instructions that I just dropped. So this you would take off, and hey, Teresa, would you mind passing me a garment of some kind?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. So the knitting gauge on top pops off, and then along the side here you've got a knitting needle gauge. Oh good, I'm glad you love it, Mom. Thank you. So along the side here you've got your knitting needle and crochet hook gauge. And what's really cool about this, and I'm going to do it very, very gently just in case, is it is magnetized. So the stitch markers that are in here, the darning needle and the little scissors don't come out. They are magnetized, they are in there. There is also a tape measure. And I believe it was Melanie was telling me that they actually 3D print these. So these are super, super cool. So, and it comes with both the kind of safety pin style markers. Oh, it's just the safety pin style markers, but again, you see, it's magnetized, they're not going anywhere. Now, the knitting gauge, so you would place this on top of your work to find out the rows per 4 inches and the stitches per 4 inches. So here is this lovely shawl by Barocco. It's called Iris and it's made from Barocco Chai. I'm gonna do my best to kind of demonstrate this. So I would put my project down on a flat surface, and then I would line the gauge up, and then I can tell how many rows there are per 4 inches and count how many stitches there are per 4 inches. This will also work for crocheting too, not just knitting. So the stitch gauge is housed just right on top, pops right in and right out, like that. So again, you've got your knitting needle gauges there on the side, and then the stitch gauge on top, which just pops right out. So this is again another great travel item if you're planning on going on a road trip or an airplane. I would check with TSA first to make sure that this is approved. I don't see why it's not, but a lot of people say to check with your airlines first before you fly. But if you're going on a road trip, this is a great thing to just pop in your knitting or crocheting bag, and then you've got all the tools you need. It even has a darning needle. Actually, it's got 2 darning needles in there, and teeny tiny scissors for when you're weaving in those tails, and your stitch markers, tape measure, your stitch gauge, and this guy is $39.99. There we go. It's a great thing to have even if you're not traveling. It's just one of those just very, very handy things to have. There we go. So that is the Acreworks Knitting Toolkit. And let's say you already have a knitting toolkit, but you really like the stitch gauge. We've got just the stitch gauge. This is $19.99, and it is exactly like the one that's included with the toolkit, so it'll tell you how many rows and how many stitches you have per 4 inches by Acreworks, 3D printed, and that is $19.99. And we just got those back in stock, I want to say on Monday or Tuesday. If you guys have any questions or comments or or hearts that you want to send me, I'd really appreciate that. So just shout them out, let me know. The last 3 items I have for you guys tonight. Excuse me.
You need some water.
No, it's my allergies. I'm okay. So,
Somebody sent you hearts.
oh, thank you. Thanks for sending hearts. So the last 3 items I have for you guys tonight are from the Mindful Collection by Knitter's Pride. I did a little research on these guys because I was kind of curious why they went with the color teal to advertise their product, or to market their product is probably a better word. So I looked it up online, and they said teal was chosen because of its soothing blue-green tone and its undertones of jade. These are colors of tranquility and renewal, and they blend well with a variety of other shades. So, and then they also have a mandala on their products. And I did research on the mandala too. They said, the circular figure visible on the Mindful Collection is an ancient symbol representing the universe and ongoing life. This is often seen in yoga or meditation circles, and it represents the search for completeness and unity. So I thought that was really cool. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Knitter's Pride, they are located in India. They are an almost zero waste company. They're very environmentally friendly. Over half of their employees are women, and any woman who walks through their doors wanting a job will get a job. I looked on their website too. They provide working uniforms for the people employed there, so they don't have to buy clothes to work there. They have schools set up for employees' children, and they're just doing what they can to help people out and to also help the environment out. They're very much into recycling and reusing, so it's a very, very wonderful company doing very, very wonderful things, not just for the products, but for people as well. So I wanted to show you guys tonight the Mindful Collection Rainbow Folding Scissors. These are $7.99, and all of the Mindful Collection comes in these cute little bags with the mandala on them. So let's open this guy up. Sorry, I should have done this before I started. But they do come in this wonderful little canvas case with the mandala on it, and the mandala is also on the zipper pull there. So I just had to show these off because they're rainbow. They're so pretty. So there are your rainbow colored Mindful folding scissors, and just like any folding scissors, you just pop them out, and of course they're not gonna, oh there we go, I just didn't pull them out far enough. These are actually pretty long for folding scissors, and they're really sharp, got a great point on them, and I'm just in love with the iridescent rainbow on those guys. So then they just fold right back up. Again, great for traveling, but again, check with your airline first to make sure you can bring these on there. When I did a little research for a trip that was canceled due to COVID, I believe the regulations are you can bring scissors on an airplane as long as collectively the scissors are 4 inches or less. So not just the blades, but the scissors as a whole. Oh, hey Laura! So that is the Mindful Collection Rainbow Folding Scissors, and these are $7.99. I also brought out the retractable tape measure. This is $9.99. Again, still in the cute little bag. And I love retractable tape measures. They're great. I mean, they're small so you can toss them in your bag. And there we go. So this one's again in that lovely teal. And it's got the retractable tape, and then the button is underneath the leather case. At least I think it's leather, might be pleather. With the little mandala on there, and again it's teal, a very lovely shade of teal. So I love the retractable tape measures, especially for road trips. because I don't want to be sticking a big giant ruler in my bag or even a little ruler. I'm clumsy and I break stuff easily, so tape measures for me are the way to go. I don't break them quite as easily as I break rulers. So the retractable tape measure, oh dear, was that thunder?
Yes.
Okay, so the teal retractable tape measure is $9.99. My last item for you guys tonight, this is great for both knitters and crocheters alike. This is the Mindful Collection Mindful Markers Mega Pack of 100. It is $12.99, and I'm not going to take this out of the packaging just because there are 100 markers in here, but I will show you what is on the tag. I'm going to come up closer to the camera. So, got here, so you've got the fixed markers for knitters, and then over here you've got the locking stitch marker, and then the stitch markers with the little bit of opening in there so you can use them on your crochet work. So these are great for both knitters and crocheters, and again, it's in shades of teal and blue. So you've got the super teeny tiny ones, the medium-sized fixed marker, and then the larger ones, and then the different sizes of locking and slip-on stitch markers. So this is $12.99, and I believe these are plastic material, but it just still comes in the nice little pouch so you know where it is and keep them all together. Again, $12.99, and you get 100 markers in here. There's 20 of 5 styles of marker. So that is the Mindful Mega Pack. Alrighty, did we get any questions or comments? Nope, no questions. And yes, it is thunder.
Yes, it was thunder.
Great. The rain I can handle, the thunder I can take or leave. So, well, I hope you guys had fun tonight. This is just a tiny, tiny tasting of the notions that we carry here, and we're always open to comments. If you see something that you like online or in another shop, let us know, and we can do some research into it and see if it's something that we can bring in.
Nancy
Oh.
says, love seeing this every Sunday.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. It's a blast. We're having so much fun with this, and it's so great being able to talk to all of you guys, even if it is over Facebook. I love keeping the lines of communication open. So again, if you see anything that you want us to look into, let me know. Just send us an email, send us a Facebook comment. Aw, thank you.
Jody, did you see Jody?
I did, thank you.
Wonderful information.
So that is all I have for you guys tonight. We are taking next week off because it is the 4th of July, and we want you all to be able to spend time barbecuing with your families and having fun. So we will be taking the 4th of July off, and then we will see you the week after, which I believe we may be starting a little bit early on that week. So keep your eyes open on Facebook, and we will see you later. Have a lovely week, enjoy the rain, and have a lovely 4th of July. So